All right, so I've been reading your comments, and I'm gonna be honest, it makes me quite happy knowing that I'm not the only person that doesn't entirely understand how certain things in Software Inc. happen to work, specifically talking about our project management. There were a bunch of comments talking about maybe getting some more multitasking skill on my management leaders. And then there were some other comments talking about maybe they have too much to do. Maybe I should go in and make sure that they're not working on old pieces of software. Maybe they're updating too often. Maybe they're updating for too long. And maybe it's just broken because other people mentioned that it's entirely possible that it is just a little weird. They've been getting the same problems that I'm getting, where it works fine for ages, and then all of a sudden, this person that has been with the company for 10 years, that has been doing amazing things for project management, just starts to falter a little bit. So I'm going to experiment with a few of those things, and I want to start with the updates task, because obviously, Fabian Hopkins is proving to be problematic. So we're going to manage some employees, we're going to sort by role, and we're going to go and fire Fabian Hopkins is what we're going to do. We're going to go in and hire a new leader for this team. We are looking for automation and multitasking. Fabian, by the way, I did check before I hit the record button. Fabian was very good at automation, which is obviously essential, but also HR, which is not essential for a manager. So multitasking being a focus seems like a good idea. We'll sort by skill. We have Thurman Gray, who can do automation, can do multitasking. That seems good. So we want to go and put him on the management updates team, and we will hire him, which is totally fine. We can go to the management updates team, which is right here. We'll go to employees. We'll go to Thurman, and we're going to say that you are now the team leader, which is absolutely fantastic, which means that Thurman is going to be assigned to the updates project. Now, I do think that new team leaders tend to take a little while to get their effectiveness up to where we want it to be. I don't know if that's going to be the case with Thurman, but we'll keep an eye on the updates and we'll sort of just see what's going to happen. I'm not really 100% sure on that one, but we can experiment with this as we go on and see what happens. I'm also noticing that Nexus 3 currently has 2,000, almost 2,400 queued tickets for supports, and it's the end of the day. So I'm going to go ahead and put support 1 on this as well. Support 2 at the moment has 12 tasks, which is deeply concerning and kind of has me thinking that we might want another support team. Now, they're not in the warehouse building. They are in this building over here. They're over in here. So I might have to put them in here somewhere, or we could get some nighttime support. I'm pretty sure support 1 and 2 both work during the day. Support 3 and support 4 could come in and work nights. That might actually be a really good idea, and I think that's actually what I'm going to do. So we're going to copy this and say support 3, and then we can copy support 3 and say support number 4. And they are both going to be set to come in at 5 p.m. They can leave at 1 a.m. They have vacation all year round, which is totally fine. And that should be all right. That's basically what we're looking for. HR management is going to be set up for these guys already, which is great. We have 11 desks in these 2 spaces, which is fine. So this room is going to have support 1 and support number 3. And then the room on the right is support 2. And it's also going to be support number 4. So that way we have the 2 shifts. It should mean that we have support around the clock. And also we can go ahead and kind of split our support tasks in project management a little bit so that support 2 isn't being overwhelmed with 12 tasks all year round. So I think what we'll do is go back into hire employees. We're looking for leaders. We are looking for, I don't know if it really matters. If we're only assigning them to be leaders, I really don't know if we need anything there, but let's go for not automation. We will go multitasking. We will go HR so they can do multiple things. I would like socialization as well, but I'm not super sold on the idea of them needing to go to meetings, but we'll begin looking and see what happens. We have Kathy Steele. You can do HR. You can do multitasking. Realistically, socializing is more important in this case because multitasking 1 is going to improve support and marketing. So yeah, not you. We need HR management as well. you are not bad. Socializing 2 is going to let you socialize with employees. I think what we'll do is get Kathy Steele into support number 3, and then maybe Minnie could go into support number 4. That seems like a good way to go. So you can go into that team, which is fine. We can go over to those teams, go to employees, and get them set up as the team leader of support number 3. And then you are obviously going to be our team leader for support number 4. So now that that's sorted, we should see those teams start to fill up, which is absolutely perfect. They might not be thrilled about working nights. And you know what? I'm actually going to go in just before the teams fill up, and I want to go to HR management and make sure that we're kind of avoiding people that don't want to work nights, because I'm pretty sure that's a thing. Isn't there someone that kind of complains about having to work nights? Slow eaters, nervous snail's pace. I might be wrong on this. It might be all right, and it kind of looks like it's fine. I think, let's see, sunny weather improves their mood. I might be wrong on that. It might actually be okay. Night owl works better at night. That might be better than fast learner. I like that. I like that idea for support 3, and then support 4, same thing. Instead of fast learners, we'll go for night owls so that they are actually going to work better given that they're working at night. I kind of think that could be good for us. And then what we'll do is just go ahead and put support 3 and 4 onto Nexus 3. We'll take 1 and 2 off of that so the night shift can work on Nexus 3. Nexus 3 is going to struggle for the next day or so because we have no one working on it, but that's totally fine. Not super worried about it. Let me just double check. Support 2, yeah, still 11 tasks. Let's put support 3 and support 1 on FrameOS 2. Let's move support 2 off of Space Command 4, and we'll put supports, let's just do 4 and 3 on this one, just to kind of spread things out a little bit. Private Stabby Face, I think we'll kind of do the same thing. We'll go for support 4 on that one, and then Nerdersoft Notebook is, support 1 now has, it's got 5 tasks. Let's give support 3 the notebook task. Plumbob is support 2, that can go to support 4. And FrameOS is still being supported. That can probably stay with support 2. That should make it a little bit easier for the support teams to keep doing what they're doing, which is absolutely perfect. We shouldn't need to worry about that. Now, what I am worried about is the fact that in the releases project, we do only have 1 update team. And if we go and have a look at the update team, they might be a little bit swamped right now. They have 7 tasks, which isn't as bad as 14. Marketing 2 has 8 tasks, to be fair, so they're a little bit swamped as well. Marketing 1? Are they doing anything? They're right about here. They have 4 tasks, so they are busy as well. I do wonder if updates should have another team as well. We could maybe do another, a night shift for these guys as well. I just don't know if it's necessary. And the thing is, I don't want them, they're still going to have a bunch of tasks instead of just having another team. I don't know if we want to do that. We'll see what happens with the support for the time being. I am trying to avoid taking over this space because I do want to make a phone at some point. So I kind of hoped I could put my phone developers up above the console developers. I'm not really sure if we're going to manage that, but here's hoping that we can manage to do that. It would be nice if we could do that. We also have a bunch of employees that are ready to be educated. So is that something we want to do? We have the legal leader ready to be educated. We could go for, I don't know if you need multitasking, but we'll give you multitasking. I'm not interested in giving you development points. I don't think that's necessary. Leela, we can educate you in your management pixel. So maybe multitasking would be the one for that. We can also give you socialization, I guess. Management voxel, we can give you multitasking, seems fair enough. Marketing lead 3, we can give you socialization. Updates, we can give you socialization for meetings. That's going to be great. Systems research night. Let's give you multitasking because that seems like a great idea. And Jason in the management echo team, multitasking seems like the right place to go for you. A whole lot of people in the 2D editor team ready to be educated as well. Hopefully we can deal with that, and hopefully we can figure that out. And actually, just while we're talking about the system research team, it was pointed out in the comments that these guys do nothing for basically 6 months of the year. They could be really useful for some development tasks, and that's something I want to experiment with this year. But first, we are going to research Systems 2012 once again, because that's what we do. So systems research can go ahead and get to work on that as soon as they get in here. And it was also pointed out that it might be worth researching networking, because pretty much everything is going to use networking from, 2010-ish onwards. And also hardware. We could start researching hardware as well and trying to patent that, especially since we're going into the hardware industry quite, well, hard with an Xbox and then a phone as well. So it might not be a bad idea to experiment with that, but I'm not necessarily in any rush to dive into that stuff. I think the only thing I'm interested in doing is that's kind of a bigger step is going to be getting ourselves some phone developers. And I think we could do that today. My only concern is I don't really have the space to put another production line in here, so I might have to squeeze it in here a little bit. Or, well, realistically, we could go underground with it. I suppose it wouldn't hurt to have like a little production line in here and then just have it feed up to probably just this set of conveyor belts. So it'll go out on the same pallets as products. Or I guess I could feed it in here, and that would be totally fine as well. Feed it into these set of conveyor belts, and it'll go out with the rest of the hardware. That might be the way to do it. I might have just talked myself into getting some phone developers. Now, speaking of marketing teams and leaders, the leader for Marketing 1 has just retired, so let's bring someone in here that can deal with this. We're looking for a leader. We're looking for service. We're looking for HR. We'll begin looking. I probably should have sorted by compatibility for the marketing team while I was here. So let's just do that as well. So Marketing 1, we'll begin looking. We have you. You can do HR. You can do multitasking. Your compatibility is good. So you're hired. That's nice and easy. And then we'll go in here and I'm just going to set you as the leader. I think that's the only thing you really need to do. I could make you a mentor. We did experiment with this. You will teach others when possible. You know what? Sure. I like having some mentors. I think it's cool seeing them kind of walk around and deal with other employees. So we'll see how that goes, and we'll hope for the best on that one. I'm also hoping that my employees can kind of manage support a little bit now. We do have an absolute mountain of tickets for Nexus 3. That's not going to get sorted out right now because obviously these two support teams are working, sort of. They are trying to do stuff. Nexus 3 is going to be dealt with by the night shift teams, though. I think that's fine. I'm not super worried about that. We do have a lot of verified bugs, though, so I might actually try and get the systems research guys to be the ones to fix a lot of that. Might be kind of interesting to see how that goes. I'm also thinking, there we go. We have the new support teams coming in, which is good. The number of tickets for Nexus 3 is not really going down, though, which is not exactly ideal. These teams, they haven't filled up yet. That's why. Okay, that's fine. It'll take a little bit of time, but it'll get there. I'm also noticing that there's a lot of people in these offices, and I don't know who any of you are. So you're working for Game Dev Night. Is what you're doing, and you are working for Game Dev Nights. You're working for Systems. Why are you guys not in your own office? Is what I don't quite understand here. I don't get why they're in this room. You do have an assigned office. It is in the other building, and you're just not using it, which is very, very strange, and I'm not sure why. I'm also not sure why the Game Dev Night team is kind of just, I mean, I know why they're in there, but yeah, it's a really weird little layout that we have going on here. I guess what I'd like to do is just grab these carpets, because I'm going to just start putting together a phone development team. I think the phone is going to be like a sort of bluish, greenish color. I think we'll go a little bit darker, just something like that seems good. And we'll just have those carpets be that color. We can grab all of the chairs in these spaces and swap those out to be, is that person asleep at their desk? Like full on? No, you are asleep, but it kind of looked when I was zoomed out like their head was down. I don't know if it might have just been me. I like that color though. I think that color is pretty solid for this team. I'd like to grab all of these desks as well and get those to be nice and bright. So a nice bright white desk right there seems great. We can grab the room dividers and we'll get those all to be sort of a nice bright white as well. We're kind of doing what we did downstairs and just going for a much brighter development space for these guys. I do want to grab the computers as well because I want to change those out to be a little brighter too. So the primary color in these will be white, secondary is going to be the same blue, and tertiary can be, well, tertiary is the keyboard, so we'll go a little bit darker so you can see it. And that is now what the development computers look like for what is going to be our phone development studio. So let's go into teams. Let's go to new team and we will say phone, because I think I haven't named it yet. I'm not too sure what it's going to be. We want to sort by name here so I can find it nice and easy. And the team color is going to be that blue, which is totally fine. And I don't really know what a phone team is going to need, so we're going to have to figure that out. We'll go ahead and switch this out for the phone team specifically though. So all of these people hopefully leave that space and go to their own offices where they should already be. That's going to be good that they might actually do that. Why can't I right click this room? Hello? There's the room. Okay, so that's the phone room. That's fine. This room is going to be set to just leaders. You're just no computer available. Interesting. That's very, very strange. So game dev night, game dev night, game dev night. There are 13. There's 13 and there's 13. So there's, what is that? 39. There's 39 chairs and there are employees on game dev night having trouble finding somewhere to sit. Do I have too many employees on that team? I have 40. They shouldn't have trouble finding somewhere to sit because one of those is the team leader. So that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. That's very strange that they're having trouble finding somewhere to sit. I might have to look into that, but I'm not really super stressed about it. I think what I'd like to do is start working on a phone. So we'll start developing. We'll go to operating system. We'll go to phone. We can probably start designing it, but I think let's have a look at what we're going to have here. It's 2012. What do we want in a phone? Let's start with networking. Let's try and do everything. So we'll go really hard on auto updates, cloud backups, and app stores. That seems fine. We'll do 3D rendering, which already has us 85% with 6% wasted, so that's good. I'm not interested in speech recognition. I'm not interested in surveillance. That seems like a bad idea. We can do notifications. We can do custom themes. I feel like everyone in 2012 loved having like their phone all customized and stuff. At least I know I did. I had like Metallica and Bullet for My Valentine and Trivium and Avenged Sevenfold backgrounds and stuff. It was a whole thing. That might have been like a year or two prior. Anyway, obviously vibration, we're going to go for that. Let's do touch. We're not going to do a fingerprint scanner yet. And then for the system itself, we'll do recovery. We'll do multitasking. And I think that's fine. Now, obviously, as I've explained before, I know wasted interest is not good. But in this case, we're just trying to make a phone that we're gonna dive into the market with all the best features. You know, we have 100% more than what the competition is offering. That's how I'm choosing to look at this. All right, that's the idea. $387 is a lot of money. Let's go in at $350. I think that's fair. It's a little bit less than what others are doing, perhaps. And for the design, I mean, it's just gonna be a smartphone, really. But I do want to get that nice sort of blue color on there that we have. So let's see what we can do. What all the sliders do? I can't actually click any of them. So that's the width of the screen. That's the notch. I don't want a notch. We're not doing a notch at all. The bezel is going to be non-existent. The screen height is going to be as high as possible. The phone is going to be a little wider. I think right about there is pretty good. The bezel thickness is, again, sort of non-existent. I like the curve on the back. Not that much, though. Just like a little something something. So it kind of... Actually, you know what? No. I've dealt with phones that have a really annoying curve on the back. They don't sit flat, and it's really, really frustrating. I do like the rounded edges. One of my first smartphones had the rounded edges. So I do like that. The rounded edges, yeah, we'll keep those. That is the screen at the bottom. Soft corners, you know what? No, we're going to go a little sharp on those. And I think that's about what it's going to be. I do like that. So style-wise, I'm not too sure what we're going to do. Primary, I want that blue, which is, oh, that looks really good on the back. What if the secondary was just like a sort of, what if it was just the same? Does that, so it's maybe not the secondary. Maybe the secondary should be like a kind of a white. So we have like a metallic blue and then just the white around. I like that a lot, actually. That's really good. That's perfect. Okay, that's our design. That was nice and easy. The assembly on this thing is going to need touch sensors into the screen assemblers with vibration into the motherboard, controllers. It's honestly not too complicated. So I'm kind of all right with that. We can totally make that. It is going to be underground, but that's all right. The framework, I'm not too sure what it's going to be. Obviously, we did an Xbox as our console. We have Frame OS as our computer operating system. Xfusion, no, these names are not, these names aren't great. The Z Phone, I mean, we did something like that once. M Touch, Smart Online. Oh, no, I might have to, I don't know. I do really like Nexus as a brand name, but we might have to come up with something else on this one. I don't know about you, but Nerdrasoft Nebula has a fun vibe to it. That first smartphone that I was talking about, the first one I ever had with the curved edges, I think it was like the Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge or something like that. That was like the first one they did that had the curved sort of front on it. So I was thinking Galaxy is space related. Nexus is spacey. I was trying to come up with other words that I could use, and part of me did go, oh, Galaxy is a fun word, and then remembered that Samsung. But Nebula, I don't know if we've used it before, and if I'm sitting here talking like this is a totally unique idea, it might not be, because we might have used Nebula before. But Nebula is a really fun, one, it's a great word, and two, I think it's perfect for this phone. So we're gonna go to the next page. We have 145 million potential consumers. We're going to go all in on the simplicity and the customization. We're not going to talk too much about the security because it's 2012. No one really cares about that. And that's fine. That's totally all right. No one's going to be working on this right now. That is totally fine as well. We'll start developing it. Obviously, no one's competent. It's not a big deal because I need to have a look at what the phone team needs. So it needs 8 designers and it needs 16 programmers. So that is 24 people, which is fine. We have room for 26. Now, the breakdown on this is going to be slightly tricky. Not 100% sure how that's going to go. I might try and hire them myself. I don't know if that's a good idea, but it's kind of tempting to try and maybe hire them myself, because I mean, this breakdown it's pretty good. It's a pretty solid breakdown. I wonder though, if I go into HR management, we want to give them a budget, say $5 million, handle everything, role selection, best, then secondary, and then active task specs. Your leader will automatically pick which specializations to prioritize for hiring and education based on the active tasks. So with that enabled, the leader should manage. Yeah, that should be fine. So we want, what was it, 16 of you and 8 of you. That should be totally fine. Specializations will be none. And then it is systems, hardware, 2D, 3D, audio, networking. That'll be all right. We want traits to be fast learners. We want maybe this actually, maybe big brain so they can just keep learning stuff. That seems like a great idea. I don't want people that are going to be slow, and I don't really want people that are stinking up the elevator, because that might slow things down as well. We'll go for high salaries as is normal, and that should be fine. We just need to find someone to lead that team. So leader, service, HR, multitasking, socialization as per usual. Maybe take socialization out. We'll begin looking, and we have Wilford, who can do HR and multitasking. Actually, these guys aren't necessarily going to be multitasking. Socialization might be the better shout. They're only going to be working on one thing. So we'll do that instead. And that still gives us Wilford, which is fine. I might go with you then. I mean, you can do meetings, which seems good. So I'm thinking, yeah, we're going to put you into the phone team, which is all right. So you are hired. Congratulations. We'll go into employees. We'll go here, and we will change you out to be a leader, and I guess a mentor seems fun. We'll see how that goes. You do have the Nebula thing here, which if we assign that to the phone team, should hopefully result in, hopefully result in some good people being hired to the phone team, which I'm hoping isn't going to take too long. And what's interesting about this is people are being hired to this team as designers and programmers, but they're also doing art as secondary, which we don't need. They're also doing service as secondary, which we also don't need. So that's not good. A cook can't find a fridge. Interesting. We might need to do something about that. Let's have a little look and try and figure something out. I'm not really too sure what we should do about it. I'm thinking a fridge. I don't know. Can I line this thing up with the walls? I'm really starting to regret my decision. Oh, that was not the button I was looking for. I'm really starting to regret my decision to have this weird layout in here. It doesn't seem like it's doing me all that many favors. But there you go. You got 2 fridges now. You can hopefully stop complaining about not being able to find one, and that'll hopefully keep my employees nicely fed. So Nebula is now, well, officially in its design phase, which is very exciting. We should probably, why are you having trouble finding somewhere to sit? You're on game dev night. Why are you even here? You don't start work for like an hour. Hold on. Have I messed up game dev night? When do they work from 5 p.m. until 1 a.m. You guys shouldn't be here. I mean, I'm just going to send you home. Just leave. Like, just go. Now you guys are complaining about other people in your office. Why? You know what? It's fine. I'm not sure what's going on with my company right now, but it's fine. Let's go underground here, and let's see if we can build out a good sort of manufacturing space for this phone is what we're gonna do. So we'll just build a space that's something like this for now. We can auto-complete that. I would like to merge these rooms together so this one has the same style as the one up there. We'll do something like this just to separate them, and we'll do a nice standard door. I want to say right about there so people can get in this way. I can't really see what I'm doing down here because it's very, very dark. So what I'm also going to have to do is get myself a little bit of lighting, just so we can actually see what we're dealing with. So we'll do a light. I'm going to say there, down in that corner, and we'll do one here as well. That's a little bit better than nothing, at the very least. Now, when it comes to manufacturing this thing, we need 2 printers that feed into 2 assemblers. So that's the first step. We can absolutely do that. So 2 printers and 2 assemblers. If we go and have a look, we can do, I guess, 2 printers, and these are just going to feed directly into the 2 assemblers. So we'll do this and this, and then we will get 2 assemblers like this and this, and they are going to be printing touch sensors going into a screen. So you 2 are going to be doing phones, touch sensors. You 2 are going to be doing screens. So that feeds in there really nicely. We need a printer for vibration, and we need 4 printers for controllers. So we can do, I guess, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You are going to be set up for vibration. You 4 are going to be set up for controllers. And then all of these need to feed into 2 separate assemblers for, what was it exactly? The motherboard. Okay. So all of you feed into 2 separate assemblers for the motherboard. The best way to do that, I think, is probably something like this. Yeah, I think this is the way to go for this. I might want to turn this around a little bit, is my thinking. I'm not 100% sure how exactly I'm going to do this just yet, but we will absolutely figure that out. If I put this here, we could do this, but my problem I'm realizing is this guy and this guy are totally fine, but this one isn't going to be accessible by employees. And that's kind of a problem because we do need employees to be able to get to these things and get around these things. So I might need a different solution for that. So I wonder if I move these guys this way, we can move this guy to here, move that this way, and then rotate all of these to be going the other way. That now lets all of these feed into these 2 assemblers, which is the motherboard. Yes, so staff can't access this. What we can do is move these 2 just like so. So staff can access all of them now, which is great. I'm almost tempted to say that we could just move all this up into that space a little bit, but it should be all right. This is also a dead end, which is completely fine as well. Let's have a look at manufacturing. So the motherboard's going. We need 1 plastic printer going into 1 case assembler, going into 4 final assemblers. Okay, so that's a lot. that's a lot. We can probably figure it out. We'll do this. We will do this, and that'll be all right. So it was plastic going into the case. We can get ourselves some conveyor belts. Yeah, we should be fine doing this. So that all comes down this way. What are you complaining about? Invalid location? Totally fine. Let me have a look at this again. So all of these need to go into 4 final assemblers. That's tricky. That is going to be tricky because what I'm needing to do and what I want to try and do is have this all feed into these conveyor belts. So I might need to try and take up a little bit more space in here than I was planning to. So we'll take up that space just ever so slightly. I might shuffle these guys over so they're this way instead, which gives us, staff can't reach that light. That's not the end of the world. It gives us a little bit more room in here. I can also move this entire run of conveyor belts just up by 1. Again, gives me a little bit more room. I suppose I could feed this all... I could feed it up and around, might be the way to go on this. So something like bringing it sort of this way, and then around into a single splitter, which goes into 2 other splitters. I don't know if that's particularly efficient, but my thinking would be... Oh, no, this might actually work. this might actually, I might actually pull this off. I do need a bit more space in the room though, but I think I need more space than that. I think I need to go 1 more and then I need to move some things. So you 3 are going to get shifted over by 1. That goes there. Copy and paste that. This is going to be inaccessible, but I don't know if staff need to access splitters. I'm really hoping that they don't, because what I'm thinking is something like this. And then I'm thinking something like this and this. Now you are telling me that's a dead end because it absolutely is. This needs to face that way. This needs to face that way. And that sort of works, right? So if I go and set all of these to be final assembly, that absolutely works. I wasn't expecting it to, but that technically does. All right. Let's put a wall between these guys just to sort of separate that space, and we can merge these into a single room as well. A little bit clunky looking, but that's all right. We can maybe just get like a little something down here as well to kind of free up those spaces. That did not work at all. Let's just try that again. There we go. So this might actually work, is what I'm realizing here. And I don't know how I feel about that. I'm also pretty sure these guys, oh, these can't be reached though. I can't go underground again either. I forgot about that particular detail. You can't just keep going underground. You have one basement and that's it. Interesting. Okay. These guys could all elevate. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna have to elevate them, which is fine. It's gonna be a little bit messy, but it's okay. Let's go back into here. Let me get my conveyor ramps, and what we'll do is 1, 2, 3. No, I can't do it because of the lights, of course. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We will have the ceiling mounted conveyors go this way, and this way. And then we will have this just ramp down, and that now feeds around, which is great. The only problem is they do need a component recycler before we get too carried away with this. So maybe I need to lower some things here. I might actually need to do that. I might need to lower some things here, or just sort of shuffle this all around. I guess I could move it back a little bit. That probably wouldn't hurt. Or I could just give them more space. Or I could rotate this whole thing. I think I'm going to rotate this whole thing. I think that would be better. And there we go. We have ourselves a phone production line, which is a little bit messy. That's certainly a polite way of putting it. It's definitely a little bit messy, but it's all right. We could probably look at tidying it up a little bit, but I don't really feel any urgent need to do that. I think this should be fine. At least this will hopefully be fine. I am slightly concerned about the idea of certain products getting fed back onto existing belts, but well, we're probably not going to find that out for quite a while because phone production is, I would imagine, going to take some time, much in the same way that Nextbox is kind of taking forever to develop as well. But it's not the end of the world. We should be all right, although Pixel's starting to fall off now as well. Really? How is this happening? I think Leela, I might have sent on education. That might be what's going on there. Updates is really not doing all that good either. I don't love that. Really concerned. I'm really concerned about project management and how it's just failing catastrophically. It's really disappointing. This patent is good to go though, which is good. So that's going to be more money for the company. We have just crossed $2 billion, which is kind of a huge achievement for a good old Nerdrasoft. Space Command 4 is still doing 11.8 million, 3.7 on Private Stabby Face, 4.8 on Nerdrasoft Notebook. And that kind of brings me back to my teams because the game devs are doing nothing right now. I want to get them working on some stuff, I think. Same with the Office guys and same with Antivirus. I think all of those, well, not the game devs, but Office and Antivirus, I think we can totally automate, assuming we have the space to do that. We do have this empty space over here. So if we wanted to, we could turn that into a pair of offices. We have this space as well. And this is generally what we've been doing with spaces like that. So I'm kind of wondering, can I just select the furniture in those rooms and we just select one at a time? So we'll start with this one. We can spin it around and then hopefully, does it just fit in there? It does. Lovely. All right. Well, in that case, let's do a wall from, oh boy, there to there. That seems fine. that almost seemed like it wasn't going to work, but we got there in the end. That's all right. We'll do the door that way, I guess, so people can get in there. And I'm going to go and grab the furniture in this one as well. And we'll just spin it around this way. And it fits pretty well too. So that's going to be a couple of offices for some management leaders. A little bit concerned about how this is going to go, but we're going to try and see what we can do. So I want to just copy this and that's totally fine. We want to do a new team. So one of them is going to be for, what was antivirus? It was Plumbob, right? So Plumbob. So Plumbob is our antivirus. And we want to copy these guys again for the other one, which was Office, which was Notebook, if I'm not mistaken. So that's, do I already have, oh, I already have Management Notebook. I totally forgot about that. Okay. Well, in that case, Management Notebook and Management Plumbob can be assigned to these offices. So Management, we want Notebook, and then we want Management Plumbob to be going into this one. And that is basically where they're going to be, which is totally fine. This room's also set up for leaders, which is interesting, but that should be all right. I think what we can do is maybe hire some employees to those right away. So we do need automation and we do need multitasking. We don't need anything else for these guys. Compatibility doesn't matter. And I don't really care for secondary roles in these guys either. So we'll begin looking. We want skill. We have Hal, who can do automation and multitasking. Congratulations. You're going into management notebook. And Tiffany, automation multitasking. Congratulations. You're going into management Plumbob. So we'll get those two set up as team leaders. So Plumbob employees, Tiffany, congratulations. You are now a team leader. And then for notebook, same story. Hal, congratulations. You are now a team leader. So this is what the Plumbob project is going to look like. I'm thinking we only do 18 months of updates for Plumbob because with 150% development time, it should still be coming out relatively quickly. Antivirus software does not take that long to develop. I can't seem to add it in here as a prototype, which is a bit weird, but that's not the end of the world. We can absolutely make that work. And what we'll do is just go in here to my releases, sort by release. We'll go to Plumbob, which was already a few years ago. And we're just going to start working on a sequel. So it's just going to be Plumbob 2. It's that simple. And it's going to have basically existing framework. Maybe I don't know if we want to go for existing. It is not really all that updated, unfortunately. So the existing framework really isn't going to do much for us, but that's fine. It's whatever. It's not the end of the world. We probably do want to go a little bit further with this one. So it's an antivirus software. We are going to want a file scanner in there. We are going to want to quarantine the files as well. These were both things that were pointed out in the comments as missing from an antivirus software. Once again, wasted interest. I feel like I've probably made my point about this. We don't really need to worry too much about it. I'm not going to do much else for the time being. We'll just do those couple of new things. And price-wise, it's not going to be subscription-based this time. It is going to be $69 because, of course, it is. And that should be fine. The 2D editor in this question is going to be, unfortunately, someone else's, which is interesting. I think my updates team probably has way too much going on to make this work. We'll do Final Edit 3. The project management task is set up to use our own stuff, so it's not the end of the world. The active users are going to be important for this. We're going to do these 3 and also FrameOS 2 and also FrameOS. And then the porting team can take over to get this on everything else. So that gives us just shy of 4 million active users. Let's aim for right about here, which is kind of perfect. And this is just going to be given off to project management. It doesn't really matter who is looking at it there. We're going to give it off to Plumbob. And now, if we have a look at Plumbob, they are designing Plumbob 2, and they'll aim for a release at some point, which is good. So that has now been automated. We're now, I don't know, what are they looking at? 2012, October for the next phase, releasing next year. That's perfect. That is exactly what we're looking for. So we do want to do the same thing with Notebook at this stage. So we'll project manage. It is going to be a Notebook. The leader in this case is management Notebook. So Hal and the design teams on this will be the office teams. So we'll go down the list as we usually do. And this is the setup for the Notebook project. Same story. We can't add it as a prototype. That's totally fine. Not super worried about it. We're doing the same thing, the updates. It's a relatively quick turnaround. So 3-month cycles and 18 months total. Should be totally fine for Notebook. That'll keep us in a decent little spot. We'll move this up to the top here and we'll go to have a look at Nerdrosoft Notebook, which is admittedly our most recent release. And I think this is the quickest turnaround that we've had on a automation project, but that's totally fine. Not really super worried about that. It's not the end of the world. It is going to be interesting to see if it does make money, given that it's doing okay, but we'll just immediately go in here and start working on that sequel. So Nerdrosoft Notebook 2 is totally fine. I'm going to keep the Nerdrosoft on there. I just like that for certain products, we would have Nerdrosoft on the title of it, kind of like Norton Antivirus or McAfee or McAfee, whatever you want to call it. Like they always have the company name on there. So that seems fair enough. And I guess what we'll do with this, I mean, it's office software. Let's do, I don't know, we'll do a dictionary this time. We will do a thesaurus. I love that word. We'll do vector graphics. Actually, you know what? We'll just do equation rendering. We'll do clip art. We'll do clip art instead. Approximately 2 years in this one. It might actually take a little while to make this happen, but that's not, I forgot it was called Pension. It's not the, it's not the end of the world. If it's going to take a little while, not super worried about that. Let's just keep going through. Unfortunately, we're still going to be using someone else's stuff for some of this. We're also going to be using it for the, oh, we really, wait, Echo 5 has 2005 tech? Oh, that's rough. Let's use Sonic Studio for this, and we'll just add it as we usually do to everything that'll support it. So we'll make sure FrameOS is in there. That's still a solid 2.5 million consumers. I'm pretty happy with that. Let's make sure we have 100% interest, which is great. And we are going to project manage this as we do into Notebook. So now that is being designed. They are aiming for September 2014, which is a bit of a distance for a release on that one, but it's not the end of the world. We do have Voxel 5 coming out in May of 2012. So not bad, honestly. I do think though, we might really want to either expand the updates team or get a night shift for the updates team. And I don't know which. I haven't really decided which of those it should be. I'm kind of thinking a night shift. I think we want to just start doing it this way. We'll just have two teams working on updates. And I think that's probably fair enough. So updates day, updates night should be fine. These guys are coming in at 5 p.m. as they usually do. And then 1 a.m. to go home. HR management is going to be set up to make sure that we are not, well, we do have night owls. I think that's preferable. And that should be fine. I'm hoping that's going to be enough for them. We just need to get a solid team leader in here to help us out. And then I can assign them to some different projects and we'll see what happens. So we don't need automation. We do need HR. We probably do want socialization as well. And let's begin looking. Let's also have a look for updates night, sort by skill. You can do automation. You can't do HR though. I need that HR. That's what I'm really looking for. So Donnie Kelly, you are hired. We will get you set up as the team leader. I'm also thinking a mentor just because it's fun and we can kind of see you walking around a little bit. And then what we'll do is go in here and our update teams are now going to be both the updates day and updates night. That's hopefully going to speed things up a little bit. I'm hoping for some good things there. And also it means that I need to go through and make sure updates night is set on all of these other projects as well. No wonder the update teams have so much to do. It really, it's starting to kind of make sense why updates take forever at this company. I think what we might actually need to do, and this might be a better idea, is instead of saying that both of my updates teams are working on everything, we have one team that updates stuff from different project management tasks, and then another team that is specifically set to deal with the updates project. So it might actually be a better idea to have updates day deal with Notebook. They can deal with Plumbob. They can deal with Frame as well. So we'll take the night shift off of there. We can have them deal with Echo as well. They can deal with Pixel, basically everything. You can kind of see where I'm going with this. In fact, the updates guys aren't even dealing with Pixel. So let's go updates day on Pixel. We can get them on Voxel as well. Yep, I didn't think they'd be dealing with it. So updates day on Voxel. They're still going to be busy, but then what we do is we take them off of the updates project. So they are not going to be dealing with all of these jobs, which seems like a good idea. We do have to be concerned about our porting guys. So porting 2 has 4 tasks. I think that's all right. That seems like a good split, and that seems like it might work, and that seems like it might be the way to go with this. So we'll see how that goes. I'm hoping for good things. We did still file a tax report this year, which is great. Research is going pretty well as well, which is nice. So despite the fact that we don't have $2 billion anymore, I still feel like we're in a good place, which I'm very happy about. That's definitely nice. Also noticing a whole lot of bugs for a whole lot of things up here that we probably want to do something about. I might have a bit of I might have to have one of the update guys go through and at least update Nexus, because it is a little bit outdated. and it really definitely needs it. So let's make sure that both of the updates teams are working on the Nexus update, if they wouldn't mind. Hopefully that'll go nice and quickly. It is not going nice and quickly, but that's that's all right. They'll get there eventually. I'm sure it'll be fine. Oh, Voxel 5 has gone out. It's great. It's inspiring. Marketing is unavoidable. Let's make sure that we're printing it because we never are. We'll do 100,000 copies as our target, which is totally fine. Maximum 100,000 copies, please. So that is all sorted. I'm really hoping it makes money. Voxel the 4th did $138 million. Voxel 3 did 76. Voxel 2 did 67. And Voxel did 127. So Voxel 4 has been our most profitable in the franchise. It is the 5th most profitable thing overall. So if we could continue with that idea, that would be nice. That would be great. That is what we're looking for after all, is healthy profits for the company. Not that we need it, of course. We're doing all right. we're doing all right on that front. It's yeah, it would just be nice. I'm just being greedy at this point. We're back above $2 billion, and again, looking at all companies, there's no one even close. So we're doing all right. We are definitely doing all right. Research is done with Systems 2012, which is great. We'll go ahead and start patenting that. And I would like to see, I don't know what I can have my, I don't know what to have my systems researchers do now, because I'm pretty sure the only teams that aren't automated are my game devs, right? And that is something I want to do because these guys don't have anything to do right now. I mean, today we've released Voxel. We've done a little bit of housekeeping and stuff like that. I don't want the episode to go on too much longer because I feel like it's probably already roughly an hour and I'm really trying to make them a bit shorter. But I think what we'll do is figure out something to give the systems researchers maybe in the next episode. But what I'd like to do now is make sure that my game devs do have something to do. So Private Stabby Face was the last entry in that franchise. And I saw a really great suggestion in the comments of the last episode. And I loved this because I did mention that I want great game names for my game franchises. And there were a couple around Sergeant Stabby Face, around that franchise, that I absolutely loved. One of them was a knife pun, and I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was on par with, like, in, I want to say it's Commando. Arnie like stabs a guy through the chest with this massive knife and just says, "Stick around." It's that kind of thing. But what I'm thinking for Sergeant Stabby Face 3 is it could be like Sergeant Stabby Face 3, have a knife day, or knife to meet you. There was another suggestion though, and this was one that adds so much to the lore of Sergeant Stabby Face. It's not called Sergeant Stabby Face. This will have to come after the third one because we've just done, you know, the prequel spin-off. We need to do the third game. What I think we'll do is we will do Sergeant Stabby Face 3, Knife to Meet You, and then another spin-off called Sally Stabby Face, which this isn't my idea, by the way. This was, I'm so sorry, I can't remember who it was, but the suggestion was that this is his daughter who is going out on a mission because he has been kidnapped or captured, and she has to go from fortress to fortress, from castle to castle, and she is going to be routinely told that he is not in fact in the castle she is at. Her father, Sergeant Stabby Face, is in another castle. I love this. I think it's amazing. We are going to do both. So let's start making a sequel to Private Stabby Face. It is Sergeant Stabby Face 3, Knife to Meet. Let's do a small, Knife to Meet You is the name. It's so good. It's so good. I love that kind of pun. I really do. It makes me so happy. We're going to use the face engine because of course we are. I think it's already outdated, unfortunately, so it's really not going to be doing much for us other than for multiplayer, but that's all right. I'm so happy about this. Pixel 6, we're going to use Voxel 4. Wait, Voxel 4? Voxel 5 is right here. It just came out and it's using 2007 tech. That's worrying. They'll get it updated, I'm sure. And we'll use Echo 5 is right there, man. It's right there, but it's so outdated. We really got to get on top of this stuff. We're starting to really fall behind on some of this. Let's go for active users. We are going to go for all of these guys and also both versions of Frame OS. We can port it after the fact. That gives us just over 5 million consumers, which is wild. We can go pretty hard on this. We're not really doing much for the story on this one. We're doing a lot for graphics and gameplay, which I think is fine. This is kind of a return to form, right? We did our first couple of games were a lot more action heavy and graphics heavy. And then Private Stabby Face was the one where they kind of told a little bit more of an intimate story about the origins of how he became Sergeant Stabby Face. This one, the third in the franchise, is like, okay, we've had our artsy fartsy version of the game. We're going to go back to what made this franchise great. And then they're doing the spin-off again where they tell a different story in that universe with a completely new character. That's the exciting thing. The fifth game, because this one, despite being called Sergeant Stabby Face 3, is it's the fourth one. The fifth game it's the first time we're introducing a new character in a very long time. I think the last time we had a new character in this universe, the Stabby Face universe, this has been a thing. If you've been around this channel for a while, going back almost 10 years, we have had multiple versions of like Sergeant Stabby Face. I know it's ridiculous, but bear with me. We did have Captain Murder Stab at one point. So Sally Stabby Face is I think this might be the first time in maybe 9 years that we have introduced a new character to that whole thing. I know it's dumb and I know it's silly, but genuinely, I've been using Sergeant Stabby Face for that long. I don't remember who develops this. I don't remember what team deals with it. So it's Bella does game dev day. Oh, she's gone so gray. What have you done? What is your portfolio? You did the original. Oh, you know what? I'm really tempted to swap things around a little bit and say that maybe Bella can go and have Sergeant Stab. She's 52. She's got another, I think they retire at 64. She has 12 years with the company. She did the original Sergeant Stabby Face, like, how many years ago? 20 years ago? It might be kind of cool to let her come back for the game that return. Maybe Private, I'm getting so into this lore. I love it. Maybe Private Stabby Face was like commercially successful, but you know, the fans were like, this is really cool, but it's not what we're looking for. So we go and bring Bella back. She was the lead designer on the original, which admittedly didn't sell very well. I'm getting so into this, man. I'm having so much fun. You know what? Let's have a look at Game Dev Night. See how that's going. I think it's fair. I think it's only fair that Vince Paul gets dibs on this because he did make the considerably more successful Sergeant Stabby Face 2 10 years ago. Private Stabby Face, not quite as successful, but you know what? We'll do it. We'll just keep it with Game Dev Night. That's fine. And then, you know, we'll do another Space Command and we'll give that to Bella and it'll be great. I'm so keen. I'm so keen for this. We have so many more employees than we need for this, which is great. This team is considerably larger than it needs to be. We will start developing Sergeant Stabby Face 3, Knife to Meet You. I love that name. I love it so much. I'm having so much fun. I don't know if you can tell. I am having a great time. Yeah, I don't love the Echo and Voxel and updates are struggling with project management. I'm not 100% sure what's going on there, but I am so excited to see if we can make another great Sergeant Stabby Face. And then obviously the spin-off with the new character with his daughter that we've never seen before. It's a character that was maybe in comic books or something for, you know, it's that kind of story, right? It's like when Star Wars had the expanded universe before Disney took over. It was like a character could appear in a book or a comic book, but then the movies could overwrite that lore. The only lore that mattered was the movies, really. That was the only thing that was considered true canon. It's kind of like that, right? There's been books and comic books and stuff like that around Sergeant Stabbyface, but the only thing that's true canon is the game. So maybe his daughter has appeared in like comic books and now she's actually being made proper canon. I don't know. I'm just having so much fun with this. Again, I don't know if you can tell. Let's take some, oh my God, they want the IP. No, it's not happening. Let's take some print jobs. It's a lot, but I think we can do it. We can totally do it, which is great. All for December, one for October. That's all right. Totally fine with that. Let's also have a look at these hosting deals. We'll take those because people tend to like it when we do that. And I'm also wondering if we can just boost our business reputation a little bit. We could take some contracts and see how that goes, but I think we'll hold off. I think we'll be all right. 3 out of 4 categories. Best employer was me, which is great. I've received a platinum award for best employer 5 years in a row. Oh, amazing. Oh, we only got second place for Space Command 4. And the most profitable was actually me with Space Command 4. All right. Well, it tells you quality is subjective. Oh, I'm excited about that one. I thought it used to be 10 years for platinum trophies. I think it did. I think platinum trophies did used to be 10 years, but maybe it's been reduced or something. I don't know. This is exciting though. We're getting multiple awards per year. I do really enjoy that. Where's my office? What do I do around here? I haven't dealt with my own character in a while, and I don't remember what he does. So I'm here. I do the audio stuff, which is fair enough. That's okay. I'm also going quite gray, which is fine. So where's the audio team? They are back there. So this award is, I guess, just going to go on my desk. What does this do? It slows hunger and bladder. So it's basically pointless to have this in my office, but I'm going to. Although if robbers get in here, that's going to be a problem. Oh, you know what? No, as much as I want that to be in my office, I don't trust security over on that side of the campus. So yeah, that's going to stay in there. It's going to stay with everything else, which is fine. You know what we could do actually? Hold on. Let me get rid of this couch and let me do a nice glass table, and we'll put it maybe here. We'll put this here and maybe turn it around the other way so it's on display. That looks nice. Maybe some nice lights next to it. That seems kind of cool. We can do always on for those lights because that seems good. I like that. I'm slightly tempted. We do have some lights. You know what? I kind of want all of the lights in this lobby to be always on. That seems like it makes sense to me. And I want to grab this one and just put it like directly above that award and make sure it's always on as well. So that way the lobby is always nice and bright and the platinum award is always nicely lit up, which I think is important. I also wonder, this literally doesn't matter what I'm doing here, but I do wonder, can I get like a nice carpet underneath this? Is that an option? It looks like it might be. Which I think that looks nice as well. I do. I kind of like the carpet. I can't select it. Oh, wait, no, I can't. Hold on. There is a way, I think. There it is. Select all. White. Ooh, that might be a bit bright though. Maybe just the blue. Yeah, we'll do the darker blue. That looks pretty good to me. So you walk past there, you see the award, you see the security guy, so you know not to touch it. The lights are always on in the lobby as well, so it's just nice and bright in there. That's pretty good. I like that. I like that a lot. Now, just before we wrap things up for today, the Pixel Project has just sent out Pixel 7, which is great and inspiring, which is exactly what we're looking for. We obviously want to print some of this as well, so we'll do 100 1,000 copies as we tend to do. And I want to take a look and see how Pixel has done before. 38 million on the last one. Pixel 5 did 41 million. Pixel 4 was outstanding, but only did 14 million. Pixel 3 did 81. It was outstanding as well. So here's hoping for some good things. We are seeing yearly releases from the company now, though, and I think we have been since possibly, well, not quite yearly, but we had a release late in 2000. We had Echo in 2001, Voxel 2001. We had 2002, 2003, and 3 again. 4, 5, 6, 6, 8, 8, 8, 8. Yeah, we've had, barring 2007, we've basically had a yearly release ever since, which is great. We had 3 last year. Notebook could be better, but it's all right. Voxel at the very least is making money. Voxel 5. Pixel 7 needs to make less than $1 million to make some good money. So here's hoping that it does do that. We're at 2.082 billion. We just passed 2.1. Pixel 7 did 1.2. Interesting. We still have Private Stabby Face doing 5.4, which is great. So we're doing all right. We're doing okay. We could be doing better, but we're doing all right. Annoyingly, the Plumbob project is struggling now. The Echo project, the Voxel project, there's just a lot of problems with these projects that I think I need to figure out. I do have some other theories about what might be causing it. And I do kind of wonder if part of the problem is maybe that my teams are split up a little bit. So if I wonder if maybe part of the problem for this is that Tiffany Weaver is leading a project. So antivirus is fine, but support or marketing or updates or whatever, the teams are spread out across different buildings. I would imagine, because essentially that is going to, if you think about it realistically, that is going to decrease the effectiveness of a team leader if they have to cross, a field to go and deal with the other team. So that might be something we want to deal with, is actually have these be a single building, because again, these are also separate buildings, right? So they are spread out a little bit. I just don't know. I just don't know what we're going to do to fix this problem. It is very frustrating, but it'll be fine. Is what it'll be. We will figure it out. We will get to the bottom of it. We will solve this issue and all will be good. The good news is that as we're moving to wrap things up for today, Nextbox is just about to go into its production, which is good. It's going to move into like beta, so we'll start printing it, which is amazing. So let's take a look at our event calendar for 2013 and see what we're doing. So May has a 3D editor antivirus. We don't appear to have any consoles coming out in 2013, which is great news, or 2014. So let's say that Nextbox is going to be November. I want to say November 2013 for our first console. That seems exciting. We'll at least get this going. It's not going to be releasing today, but November 2013. Marketing is, of course, going to be given to whoever is doing the least right now, which is Marketing 1. So we'll get those guys working on it. We're not going to send out a press build. We're not going to hype it. Well, we are going to hype it. We're just not sending in a press build. We're not going to have those guys hype it. We'll make sure those are priorities. And that's kind of exciting, to be honest. That's kind of a big deal as far as I'm concerned. Obviously, NextCon is also going to be, I would assume, it's going to have the same release date. So we'll start talking about the controller. That'll be kind of exciting. We can start to hype this a little bit. Honestly, the controller, we probably could send out a press build of, but I don't think there's any need to right now. So that's cool. That's exciting. That's a big development. We are just a breath away. In fact, I think I might just let this kind of tick over. I was about to just say we're done for today, but this is ready to go into beta, which means it should start printing as soon as I say print, which is great. So we'll say a maximum of 500. Ooh, let's say, yeah, you know what? 500,000. I want 500,000 of these things to be made is what I want. And we should, and we do see the, or at least we did see, yeah, we're starting to see the products come through, which is great. They are feeding underground, which is fine. They should start feeding back up here. And there we go. These are the first boxes that have the next box. These are the first few thousand next boxes that are going out to the people over a year before it releases. It's a weird thought, right? But I mean, I guess the theory is it's an always online device. So what's going to happen is you plug that thing in and it's like, hey, there's an update from a year ago. You might want to download this or it's not going to work. That's pretty cool. That has me really, really happy. I really like that. It's not going to be the quickest production, but I mean, we have a year to do it. So I don't really think it matters too much how quickly that goes. They can just keep working on bugs. I'm going to let them prioritize the controller a little bit as well. We'll just have them kind of do both so that, you know, any bugs in the controller. I mean, there's 38 of them. They've been fixed for a while, but they can kind of keep working on it, which is great. Nexus 3's update is almost done. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with where we are with the company right now. The project management's really frustrating, but I like where we are. I like that we have a phone in the works as well. Nextbox is going out in a year. We have an idea for Sergeant Stabby Face going forward. And so I guess, I mean, if we look at our software development, there is nothing now that we haven't done other than a role-playing game, adventure game, simulation, sports games. It might be kind of fun to grab a new team for a sports game, and then we'll just sort of automate that one. So it'll kind of be, you know, like a FIFA type thing, or, you know, like the 2K sports games. We can do something like that. Simulation games, maybe something similar. We could probably automate that, but just give them a super long development time because that seems realistic for simulation games. Adventure games, we'll come up with a franchise. RPG games, I'd kind of like to do those as well. I'm not promising we're going to do that, but what I'm getting at is that the end of the series is probably in... what is this? There's no level 1 3D artist working on updating Voxel 5 to finish procedural objects, which will... What? Level 1 3D artist. Is that why they're struggling? Oh. That would explain a lot, actually. Support Team 1 just lost their leader as well. I should have probably paid attention to that. Okay. We need a lot of things. Sure. Filter by compatibility for support team 1. What I'm getting at, just by the way, the series isn't done right now by any means, but I do think we're getting there. I don't know how many more episodes we've got before I'd be willing to kind of say that, yeah, we're about there. Now, unfortunately, compatibility here is very bad, but your skill is very good. So yeah, you're hired. That'll be fine. The support team will manage is what they will do. Let's have you changed out to be a team leader. And yeah, that seems fine. I do think support team 1 should probably have its HR management sorted out a little bit. And then maybe we want to just set them to be, you know, hired to do the thing they're hired for instead of what they're doing in there. That's whatever. We're not going to worry too much about it. I do want to kind of deal with these complaints. We're missing certain people in certain tasks. So this is to update things because it's being given to the updates day shift. If we have a look at the updates day shift skill wise, they're missing, let's see. So this is the update team. They're missing a level 2 audio artist for updating Space Command 4. That's interesting because the updates day shift does have a level 2 audio artist. I wonder if we go and look at HR management, it's best then secondary. Best roles, maybe? If we look at their employees, They do need artists, right? So that's probably the problem, is that I would not be surprised that we might only be hiring, programmers. Interesting. Okay. That sort of makes a lot of sense, actually. Huh. So the updates teams don't just need to be programmers. That checks out. That absolutely checks out. That's unfortunate that checks out, but it does. Okay, let's not change what they're hired for then. And can I change all of your roles to be any? And does that does get rid of that complaint. Now, not everybody is skilled at everything in these teams, so that's not necessarily ideal. But I think just to try and deal with this problem, I'm going to just kind of set them all to any role. We will want to go to HR management for this one and just say, don't change. Maybe best roles or something. And we'll see if that works out. So having done that, we still have a problem with updates, level 2 audio artist for Space Command 4. And yeah. Okay, audio programmer. That's not good. So let me have a look. So that's both for this task, because the update team is updates night. That shouldn't be a problem anymore though, right? Because we did just set updates night to, ooh, that's a lot of alerts. Updates night employees. They're all back to being programmers. Is that because I changed it to best role? Yeah. So if I say don't change and I go to employees and I go to all of you and I change your roles to anything, that doesn't seem to have got rid of that complaint, because they don't actually have level 2 audio down here. Interesting. Okay. In that case, let's say updates for now is going to be both of the update teams. It's a little unfortunate that updates 1 is going to be swamped with tasks, but I kind of need that problem to go away as much as possible. What if we run out of stock on Pixel 6? I mean, we're printing it, so it should be all right. Is that the recent one? No. Okay, so we're not printing the older one anymore. I think regardless, we have some issues to figure out. We will get there, but we're not going to get there today. We have a lot of stuff we're working on. It's very exciting. Next box is a year away. It's going to be good. It's going to be amazing. We're working on a new Sergeant Stabby face. I'm keen to see what we can do here. But that is going to do us for today. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. It has been an absolute pleasure, as always. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.